Hi, babes, and welcome back to another episode of Thanks for Stopping By. Um, Welcome to the pod, man. You know what I just realized? I always don't know, like, immediately what to say, right? Like, I, for the most part, kind of come into these episodes with like a general idea of what I want to talk about. Like right before I record, I'll be like, "Oh, I watched you know, show about this. I should talk about it." Or like I'll listen to another podcast and I'll be like, "Oh, they talked about, you know, times they saw a ghost. I should talk about all the times I've seen a ghost." Um and so I always like have like a general idea of what I'm going to say, but right after I say the little intro part, I never know how to start talking about it right away. Um, because obviously, as you can tell, I start off every episode by saying "Hiya, babes," because from my weird deep obsession with learning about how to podcast, one of the things I've heard people say is a good idea to do, and just noticed through like all of my favorite podcasts I listen to, and YouTube channels for that matter, is it's good to have like a nice little thing at the beginning that everyone can say with you, or like at the very least like know that it's coming, you know? Like perfect examples are like my brother and me. They have their like, I'm your oldest brother, Justin McElroy. I'm your middle brother. They have like this long thing, and so when their fans hear it, they know exactly what they're gonna say, and it's like a fun interactive thing. Um, and so it was always something I wanted to like have a version of, because I used to just always start off by saying hello everybody. I was actually re-listening to an old episode today, and yeah, I started out hello everybody, and it was like it's fine, but it didn't feel like cute and noticeable enough, I guess. So I started saying hiya babes, because I think that's fun, and I call everybody babes all the time. Um, and then the same thing with the end of the podcast. I end it every time by saying, and most importantly, thanks for stopping by on my horror channel on Around the Campfire. I say, and make sure you join us next time as we gather around the campfire. Because it's fun. It's like a cool little thing that all the fans know about. Um, oh shit. Do I need a name for you guys too? Do I need a name for all my fans? That's a thing that YouTubers do a lot, right? Like the Grumps, they have the Lovelies. Curtis has members of, Curtis Connor has members of Curtis Town. Um, Danny Gonzalez has Greg. Drew Gooden has what are they, Little Stinkers? Where did that start with? Did that start with? Because my first exposure to it, I think, was, I hate to bring them up, but was PewDiePie. I feel like was like the start of that, right? It was like the Bro Army, right? Was that it? Because obviously there was fucking years of YouTube before PewDiePie, but like, did the fans have names back then, or was it the Bro Army that started that? Because I know now there's, what's the big ones? There's like the Jake Paulers and the Low Gang. What a shit fucking just group of people, first of all, in general. But like, what a shit name. How come like rich white kids on the internet, they have the worst names for everything? I've noticed that now with like at first it was the names, right? Like, oh, we're the Low Gang. And then it was like team names, right? Like it was groups. Like there was Team 10. because they could get it because we have 10 people, you know? And then there was, what was the one that beefed with them? Clout House. Those fucking Rice Gum's name, right? Clout House. What a lame fucking name. Dude, like rich white kids on the internet are the most fucking vanilla boring people on the planet. I'll never understand why people find them so fascinating. They're so boring. Everything that comes out of their mouth is so fucking boring. And it's a bunch of made up words that don't mean anything that people think are cool. Clout House. What a shit name. And now the houses are really out of control with TikTok. Now there's the Hype House. Hell yeah. We put a bunch of 19-year-old boys and like one 15-year-old girl in a big house. And all they do all day is dance with each other and like record it for 5 seconds. And they're all fucking millionaires. What the fuck is that about? You know what I mean? Who fucking said that was okay? Like, yeah, no. We're going to put this small child, this 15-year-old girl, she's going to hang out with a bunch of 20-year-olds, and they're just going to dance to songs that are not okay. And they're all fucking millionaires. They're all rich as fuck. What is the world? You know? And there's a weird fascination with rich people, right? And here's the thing too is I'm not even saying like that showing off your stuff is inherently like uninteresting, because I love watching like haul videos or like tour video. Like the other day I rewatched I think like Game Grumps did like an office tour like a couple years ago, and I was rewatching it because I was like, look at all this cool fucking shit, you know? But like, and I guess it's like kind of double-edged sword, because it's like, you know, taste is like, you know, subjective. But like when I watch like a, you know, like I have a younger brother and he's into all that shit. And like when I see like a phase house tour and everything's modern white, you know, and it's like I'm just like fucking bored out of my mind. They're like, yeah, look, here's this is our, you know, hype room. This is hype room, and it's all white, and there's like a big square couch, you know, and there's like a YouTube pillow on it, of course. And then they're like, yeah, and then here's the fucking Tesla room, the fucking Clout Palace. And it's just like all the same car, like 20 times. And they all cost $1 million. And they're like, yeah, guys, fucking, here's the, you know, the fucking chill deck, and it's just like the most boring areas. It's just like you know, like every inch of their house is so like plain, but it all costs a fucking bazillion dollars. And then I watched like a nerd tour, like an office tour of like Game Grumps, and there's fucking toys everywhere, and there's like figures, and there's fucking like beautiful artwork from artists and fans, and like fucking arcade machines, and like just all kinds of like cool ideas. And I'm just like, that's what I want. Like, I've said this so much, like if I ever own my own house one day, my house is gonna make no fucking sense, right? Like that was all like I want like a themed office. That's my dream, is a themed office. Oh my god. I mean, an office in in general is just a dream of mine, but you know, your girls a little poor there. She'd be struggling sometimes, So an office is not in the works. It's not part of the great design. But I want my own office one day, and I want to theme it after a retro game store. So like instead of like a wood shelf, I'd love to have like the black cage type shelves that you would put like video games on. And it'll like be all like backlit and like look really cool, and I'll have like a bunch of old games up there. Old for me, mind you. Like I didn't grow up with a fucking SNES. Like I'm 22. I had like a PS1 and a PS2. And then like I want like always have this idea of like having like a big desk, one of those like big L-shaped desks. And I want the sides of it to like look like the sides of an arcade cabinet. Like I think that'd be really cool, and I can like workshop it and it'd be really cool. And that could change too. I could want some other shit. Who knows? But I just it's just like watching these people. I'm like, they're so fucking boring for no reason. It's really weird. I also just remembered that my point was that I don't know how to start the show. But I guess I figured it out. I guess my way of starting the show is saying I don't know how to start the show, and then try and explain why, and inevitably talk about some other shit for like 20 minutes. That's how it be, dude. That's how my brain is, man. Do you feel that? People at home, audience, right into the show. Why don't you call in? Could you imagine this pre-recorded podcast? But I was like, call in, and then I got a caller, and they were from the future. Could you fucking crazy imagine? If I'm just like doing a bit, I'm like, haha, guys. Why don't you go ahead and call in? Blah. And then you just hear my phone ring, and they're like, I heard your podcast, and I'm calling from the future to tell you that you're still gonna have no fucking subs. What could you honestly? Sorry, my voice cracked there. Honestly, if that happened, like that hurt my heart and ego a lot, but I'd have a lot of respect if someone called me from the future. Someone learned time travel, like they learned how to call me from the future, and the only news they wanted to give me was that nobody still gives a shit about my content. I'd be like, fucking ow, but like, nice, dude. Like, respect. Just like, I could have called somebody and warned them about a disaster, or like, I could have called somebody, and tell them not to go somewhere, or I could have called someone in my family and told them the lottery winnings numbers. But no, I wanted to call you and tell you that your content fucking sucks. Oh my god, dude. I'm glad I can laugh about it, though. I'm not going to go on my whole do it for yourself spiel, because I think I've said that like 5 times on the show already, but you guys know how I am about that. Just like record. I like talking, Remember a few minutes ago when I tried to start talking about how my brain is out of control, and in the middle of that thought started talking about something else? Oh my god, why does anyone listen to this? It is very interesting to me that I decided to start a solo podcast, right? Because I when I first got into podcasts, I actually didn't like solo podcasts because I always just was like, I didn't even have a reason not to, like, from experience necessarily, because I was always like, my thing was like, how could that ever be good to listen to, right? Like, podcasts are about, chemistry with a host, and like listening to people talk about, a cool subject, or like just listening to two friends talk, blah, blah, blah. So I never even listened to one. And then I think the first solo podcast I ever listened to was very, really good, which is Curtis Connor's podcast. And I was like, dude, this fucking rules. Because, like, it was just him sitting there talking about nothing, saying shit that he thinks is funny. And I was like, dude, that's how I am all the time. you know? And like, it made sense for him too, especially because he comes from a stand-up background. But like, I come from a background of like, I wanted to do stand-up when I was younger. And I think this was the less socially terrifying and anxiety inducing way to do it. Because if a bit doesn't land on here, I'll never know. Because there's no audience participation. So I don't have to know if my jokes are funny. I can just keep pretending that they are. You know? Like if I was in a comedy club and I was like, anyway, so can you imagine if like someone called me from the future and it was just like, I say that and then there's just fucking no reaction, like, at all. How soul crushing is that? You know? Where do you go from there? You're just like, do you keep going with the bit? Like, yeah, what if they called from the future to say that um say that my jokes are bad, right? That'd be crazy if that, if that happened. They'd be like, yeah, I wish someone would call you from the future and tell you that your set fucking sucks. you know? But on here, I can just laugh and tell myself that I'm so fucking funny. And then that's just real now to me. You know? Because I thought it was funny. And that's all that I need from that to feel confident enough to put it on the internet. Because I'm not ever going to read the feedback. Because no, thanks. you know? I'm just going to fucking ramble and then be like, yep, that was good. and then put it out, I guess. You know? That's so bizarre. It really is. But honestly though, like, I was always genuinely curious, like, how does someone just like start talking? But like, I realized that this podcast was perfect because like this podcast is a perfect example of my brain, right? Because like, all that entire last bit aside, I'd like to imagine I'm a pretty funny person for the most part. And I definitely am really funny when I'm like riffing with someone and we're like doing jokes and and that's a lot of fun when you have a co-host that you like have a lot of good chemistry with, because you're just riffing and cracking jokes and it's great. And so my fear was always like, oh, if I don't have that co-host, if I don't have someone here with me, it's not going to be as funny because I'm not going to have anything to go off of. But I realized that, like, my brain is working constantly at like a million miles an hour, just thinking of all matter of like shit, right? So, like, if, like, prime example earlier, like, if I say, like, oh yeah, I don't know how to start the show, then my brain, like, by the time I've said that, I've thought of 10 other things that I now need to get out. And that's perfect for a podcast where I'm by myself, because then I can just get all of it out, and I can just keep going. And there's no one I have to, like, wait for to respond. And, like, I don't, like, if I think of something completely fucking different, I don't have to, like, just drop it because, oh, we're already talking about something else. I can just fucking do the sharpest U-turn in the world and talk about something entirely different mid-thought. And this is the only form where that's acceptable. Can't do that in a YouTube video. I can't release a video called, did you know broccoli actually will kill your family? And then, like, I'm presenting all these facts, and I'm like, actually, broccoli love to stab people, so broccolis will just kill your family. And then, like, in the middle of that, it's just like, broccolis are actually really... Have you ever thought about why school buses are yellow? You can't do that. You can't fucking do that in a YouTube video. Whatever your title is what the video's about. Especially now. God, YouTube titles are fucking so silly. I think YouTube titles, like YouTube video essay titles, are probably the most pretentious thing that has ever existed in the world. Right? And it's because of the hold on. Hey, let's try that again. It's because of the algorithm. That's the word I wanted to say. Not the algorithm. The algorithm. But, like, if YouTube is just straight up promoting clickbait again, which, whatever, but, like, the algorithm wants a title that, sounds enticing and clickable. So you want to almost phrase your videos as either like a question or like just a general thought, like, even if something's part of a series, like, I've noticed, like, you don't want to put, like, da-da-da part 3, this part. Like, you almost don't want to come up with a name for a new series. You want, like, every episode to be titled something different, right? And that's what, like, they've just become so, like, dramatic and, like, really silly, like... Like, I'm trying to remember what made me think of this. I think it was yesterday. I saw a video, and it was, like, right away. Like, I clicked on it, and I was, like, listening to it. What the fuck was it about? I can't remember. I don't even remember what the video was about, because all I could think about was the title. And it's like... I don't even want to say the title at this point because I think people are going to think I'm, like, attacking somebody. I didn't watch the video, like I said, but, like, it's a bit, so let's all relax. But it's like, it was called, like, something and the anatomy of the mind of murder, or, like, some kind of shit like that. And I was just like, imagine titling a video like that. You know what I mean? And, like, if that's how you title your videos, awesome. Like, get those fucking views, bitch. I'm sure I'll title some shit like that sometimes. What the fuck did I title my disturbing movies video? I don't think I had a clickbaity enough title for that. Hold on. Let's go on a hunt together, because I want to learn, actually. I want to find out. What did I name it? By the way, if you're not subscribed to my channel already, go ahead and go over to my horror channel Around the Campfire and subscribe. Okay. See, this is where I fucked up because this is a series, right? But I titled it Disturbing Movie Tournament dash Round 1 dash The Collector versus Eden Lake, and then the little like down slash and then Around the Campfire. And I think that's a mistake because it's got all these like dashes and like bullshit in it. And I didn't call it something that's going to provoke more interest. Like I should have called it like The Collector versus, or like what do you even call that? You know, like fucking which movie will make you kill your family more? You know what I mean? Oh shit. You know what I mean? I think it's more to do with like the video essay style of YouTube we have now. Like everything is this like deep dive with receipts and facts. You know? It's sort of the, I hate to bring them up, but it's sort of the Mind of Jake Paul syndrome, you know, where like that shit. Oh my god, that fucking series of videos definitely, as much as we probably hate to admit it, super inspired the content that's going on right now. With and with the advent of like exposed videos. Now it's no longer Jeffree Star exposed. It's like the traumatic and disgusting past of Jeffree Star. You know what I mean? And like, I think I sound too much like I'm criticizing this. I am not criticizing this at all. It makes absolute sense, especially like I said, with the way the algorithm is now. And like, it's a more enticing title than just like Jeffree Star exposed or like Jake Paul interview. When you say like the twisted mind of Jake Paul, it's more interesting. You're like, oh shit, I want to watch that. You know, I think there's no, like, while I completely understand it, I think it also is necessary to like, not even necessary. It's just understandable to like realize that it's very goofy and dramatic and over the top, right? But then again, so is YouTube. YouTube's fucking so awful. What a shitty platform. The amount of like people on the platform who go, this platform fucking sucks. It's crazy to me. The amount of times in a YouTube video people go like, yeah, YouTube is the fucking worst. And it's like, that is people's like main source of income. That's wild, dude. That's crazy. YouTube is such a fucking problem. But we all want to be on it. I do. I'll fucking shit on YouTube all day, but I'll tell you what. Give me that plaque. I'll wish YouTube was my fucking job. You know? It's so bizarre. Everything's so bizarre. You ever just are tired? You know? You ever just think about the world and you're like, I'm so tired right now. I want to take a fucking nap forever. I want to sleep through the rest of the year, to be honest. I want to get in whatever time machine Fry from Futurama got in. I want to get frozen until 1,000 years from now. We'll see what happens. Just freeze me, my girlfriend, and my cats. We'll see what's going on in 3020. See if they got space cars or if we get out of the machine and everything's just on fire. Oh, gosh. Gosh darn, y'all. Well, sorry to cut this one a teensy tiny little bit short. But I was on a bit of a time crunch today. But I want to say very quickly, thank y'all so much for joining me on the pod. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. I'm sorry the past couple weeks my uploads have been a little inconsistent. I've still been posting episodes, but it's definitely been not week to week like I want it. But I'm working on that. I'm super sorry. It's a wild time right now, Mama. It's a crazy time. So I appreciate y'all holding out. And we're doing it, baby. We're hitting the 20s now. I think this might actually be episode 20, which I shouldn't say that because you never know, but we're getting into the 20s, I think, which is super exciting for me because I've never had a podcast last this long. But I'm really happy because I love doing this and it's a lot of fun. And I'm working on getting it on other platforms as well, like Spotify and, iTunes and all that stuff. So look out for that. But anyway, yeah. Thanks for joining me. Go over to my channel Around the Campfire and subscribe and watch some videos. I have new videos coming out there soon, hopefully. Go over to my second channel, Salem Ellison. Everything's blank on there because I privated all the podcast episodes because I talked about this already, but my podcast is SoundCloud only right now. But there will be some second channel content coming soon, hopefully. I have a Patreon, so go to Patreon to get exclusive stuff such as bi-monthly Patreon exclusive episodes of the podcast, which is very exciting because sometimes I talk about stuff I wouldn't talk about on the free version of this podcast because if you want me to get a little extra spicy, you gotta give me that little, something, okay. It's gonna be a two-way transaction here. You want the spice, I want to see the change. So, God, what the fuck? Why would anyone ever give me money to do this? But anyway, yeah. Thanks for joining. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, and most importantly, thanks for stopping by.